Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Happy Wednesday the 25th. Damn, we're almost through summer. You figure living in hell, you gear up for summer, then we get to June 25th. Really, we got July and August. Granted, those are two hellacious months, but damn, we're almost through this madness. And like I said, 4 of those days for me will be in sunny San Diego, my home state of California, not my hometown because I'm from Los Angeles. But hey, we are this time next month. Hopefully I'm sleeping in a bed that hasn't tried to kill me yet. But I'll also be in San Diego. Hell, I might be on the beach somewhere, but I'm definitely going to be knee deep in San Diego Comic-Con. Welcome to the Midnight Express. This is a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning edition. I should have just put the Wednesday banner up, but didn't have a theme for the night. But tomorrow night, program note, it's all about Fantastic Four and the final trailer, because I think they're going to reveal some really, really big things tomorrow night or this morning. I'm not going to do an early morning thing because, I don't know. I'm just going to be too tired. Plus, I got a lot of stuff to do. But yeah, tomorrow night show, I'll even have the thumbnail up. That show will be up and ready. 11:30. We are going to dive deep into whatever that trailer has. I know everybody's hot and giddy about Superman, and that's fine. But coming into this months and months ago, Fantastic Four was once I knew the release date, that was my movie of the year, my most anticipated movie of the year, and it's not even close. There's Fantastic Four, and then there's like whatever other movie is like in a different galaxy right now. This show, tonight's show, and all the shows up until Friday are brought to you by Blumhouse Pictures, Megan 2.0. And those of you who were lucky enough last night now to come into the center, grab your t-shirts, grab your tickets and all that. I'm glad you guys had a good time last night. I wasn't there. I didn't get pictures of anybody. I told people to take selfies, but they never listened. But there you go. That's the screen. That's them watching it, doing all the announcements. Got her name mentioned. I'm still that B. I will see this on streaming. I'm sure it looks like a lot of fun, but I don't love Megan the franchise that much to the point where I'm going to make time for it. And let me go ahead and bring in Brad, who's somewhat on time tonight. I'm so proud. Like it's not 30 minutes into the show, and
the intro played, and I was like, I'm just sitting waiting for you to bring me on.
Well, you never know. You might want to show up early and be like, "Hey, William, I got something I want to add to this show tonight. I want to."
Well, actually,
then I'll be like, "No, fuck that," because it's probably some kung fu bullshit that I don't feel like hearing about.
Oh well, I mean, there is. I mean, if you want to talk about that, we can.
No, we don't.
Well, there is actually a kind of on that topic, I guess there is
no. This is why
no
I'm
no
okay
no
with
on the
you.
topic of what I want to add.
Oh, okay. Well,
There is something. Well, it's Superman related actually, and
you start some trouble today.
I did not. No, but this is actually right from the horse's mouth. You go ahead and pull this up.
Oh, I think I saw what you're talking about.
Yeah. So if there were any lingering doubt remaining that this character, this masked, unidentified character, secondary antagonist in the Superman, in James Gunn's Superman is Ultraman, well, this definitely puts that to rest because Gunn puts out this photo. It's somewhat of a different costume. And the name
Well,
right
it looks
there
like
is
his
Ultraman.
costume's been beat up, but yeah,
Yeah,
the toy line that they released 2 months ago says Ultraman right on it. So
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's been, like you said, all that back and forth about it. We're gonna pull the mask against Bizarro under there. It's like he's like,
okay, be careful because Ultraman in canon is Superman. It is a alternate evil version of Superman. However, he could do whatever he wants. It could be fucking it could be Jimmy Olsen. It could be an evil version of Jimmy Olsen. I'm just being shitty, but
yeah, it could be other Superman actors too. As
I highly doubt that.
But no, well, what I did have a piece toward that theory, but
yeah.
I do feel confident in saying with this that I one thing I do feel certain, pretty, I do feel like I have a lot of confidence in saying is that I do think that the reveal of who was under that mask, that is meant to be like a plot twist or a surprise of some kind. It's not, I don't think it's Corn Sweat under there.
I think it's Corn Sweat beyond it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Who do you think it could be? Because it's.
I think it. Well, I mean, I wrote a piece about one possibility.
That's you probably have a better chance of getting struck in both of your eye sockets by lightning, and then me at the same time.
Oh, dude! If that turns out,
I would love for it to happen, dude. I would love for it to happen.
Oh, I'm gonna be. Oh man, you think I'm gonna? You think I got an ego right now?
Oh, you're just guessing. You're not the only. You're like 1,000 people have guessed.
No, but I do feel like again, because like you said, like Ultraman, he is evil Superman of another universe. So to me, that's like
I would love for it to be. If it was Cabo, let's go. I mean, just I'm not going to unsay it.
Yeah.
If it's Cabo, I'm sitting there. By the way, I will be seeing this on Monday. My schedule did open up. I will be seeing it on
now when you picking your brain about it on Monday.
Yeah. So if you are in Las Vegas, Nevada, and you need a ticket to go see Superman on Tuesday, I will hook you up. I have a ticket. I have a ticket, and I will be going on Monday. I don't need to see this movie 3 times.
Yeah,
I'm going to go see it twice.
A week from this Monday when they
July 7th. July 7th.
He's talking about RJ when they start having like the early preview screenings.
Okay. Hold your thought about Ultraman.
Okay.
Warner Brothers. Look, I'm cool with the this is an unconventional advertising campaign. They're flooding a very small zone. I've never seen this before. I don't know if this is going to work or not, one way or another. But to let you know how I got a call from my rep or intermediate between us and Warner Brothers saying on July 4th, we need a Superman and the new Superman costume. Can you hook us up? Can you help us? Fortunately, I was able to help. Thank you to Critical Care Comics, who will be at our screening. There's a 4th of July parade in Summerlin that we are helping with the Superman there, and I got some pictures I'll be showing because that Superman is going to be at our July 10th screening with a whole bunch of people that are dressed up. So I invited them along, so I was able. Yeah, but they're just, dude. I got posters out of nowhere. I got stuff on the way out of nowhere. So this reminds me sort of what Black Adam was. Black Adam was a regime change, though. The old people had done Black Adam and decided they weren't going to throw any money into it. The new regime was like, hey, let's see what we can do with any of these. But this was something that's completely done by theirs. So they've decided that, hey, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to compress this ad campaign. It's a lot of fun, though. I mean, I don't know if it's going to work or not. I would prefer, especially as somebody who sells Superman stuff. See, when you sell Superman stuff, the best thing you want is the stuff to come out 3 months ago. Here's why. Once you sell through it, and our buyers and stuff have done the buying process, the people who manufacture this stuff get that news. And when the movie is out, you have enough of the stuff and there's not price gouging and you know what sold and what didn't sell. You you can restructure things. So when July 11th comes around, you're in your second cycle of toys. You're not going to run out, and you've adjusted your manufacturing, and us little guys have adjusted our sales to be able to get that second and possibly third wave. When it's compressed down to like this, it's going to sell out. It's either going to sell out or you can go the other way. So I like it when the ad campaigns close in on a 90-day. That's just for me, especially when it's a comic book movie, because we can attach a lot of stuff to it. But this thing is they're flooding a very small zone. And like I said, we got that call today, and I was able to get, as a matter of fact, let me show you the guy we got. And I know he's not going to mind showing this, because he did Critical Care Comics. By the way, I'm gonna have them up on the show before too long. We donate comics to them all the time, because what they do is they go to hospitals, and they visit people at hospitals and people that are going through, family that are going through things. You can go ahead and take that down real quick. But hold your corn sweat slot. I'm sorry. In fact, you know what? Finish your corn sweat slot, because I derailed that.
Okay. So, so I feel now, real quick before I get into that, there has also seen some speculation. People thinking that you might be Doomsday under there, because the mask does actually, and the overall suit does look similar to the containment suit. I don't know that. I don't think so. That
I don't think it does look like a Doomsday though.
It looks like it's very reminiscent of the containment suit.
James Gunn.
Well, it would be the third time we've seen like Lex Luthor unleashing Doomsday on Superman. So like, okay, that
I didn't need the first two times, but here's the thing.
I love the first.
If
time.
You just forget about how it's been done. It just, please be original. Please be original. Don't bring in. I don't want to see a David Cornsweet, and then somebody brings his body back in Superman 2, and it's now we got a dead Kryptonian. Let's make him Doomsday. I'm done. If that happens, any variation that happens, there's too much shit, too much shows to watch. There's too many movies to watch. There's stuff I got piled up on Netflix, Paramount Plus. I got so many movies to watch. If that happens, I'm spiritually done with this fucking universe with DC.
I'm gonna pull it back up. Yeah. So, but yeah, this look. Actually, I kind of get your idea here. It looks like this might be like in that fight scene we see them have in the trailers, where Superman maybe like burns the suit a bit with his heat vision. That's what kind of causes the mask to come off.
Yeah, and he takes it off, and you can tell in the trailers he has the mask off.
Yeah, he does have it. There could, I mean, and you said too, they've like added some kind of shadow or something to obscure the face.
Yeah, when they're fighting in the side, because when you see the scene, you'll probably see it.
And like I said, it's like the brief flashes. I don't know why it just evokes Winter Soldier for me a lot.
Now, keep in mind, geeks like us, it would only we know who it's supposed to be. But even if it's Cornsweet, the other 99.9% of the people that are going to go see this movie, they don't know about Ultraman. They don't know the history.
It does actually look like something you'd see in the Nightmare, I admit.
Yeah, it looks like when he first came down, when Superman first jumps through that tunnel, or drops down in that tunnel. But if it's David Cornsweet, the general audience would be shocked. So hiding his face from them would have an effect.
I disagree, though, because to me, it's like, if you're gonna have like an alternate evil Superman, it's like I just don't see the point of like obscuring his identity unless that's meant to be some kind of plot
because
twist.
You're Brad and I'm William. Our opinion on that's not. It's going to be skewed.
I mean, if they put that in the trailer from the jump, then people would say it's like, oh, we got like evil Superman here.
Well, no, but they hid the face.
Exactly, which to me suggests this is meant to be a big reveal. It's not meant to be a big reveal by just it's the same dude playing.
You're giving the general audience credit. I mean, they're not stupid, but they're just not aware of this, and it will be a significant surprise. For us, it's not going to be anything. It's going to be canon. But for the general Johnny come, my Superman is this movie and the cartoons and stuff like that. They would be. I could see them being not shocked. I could see them being shocked, and I could see it being worth hiding.
Yeah, but I can see them being way more shocked if it's somebody other than Cornsweet under there.
I doubt it. I mean, like I said, it's his story. He does not have to follow the story.
It's like I'm calling it right now. I believe this is somebody other than David Cornsweet under that mask. It's like,
you're limited on who it could be, though.
But that
because the powers. That's the thing. It limits who it could be because of the fact you could clearly tell that he's fighting another Kryptonian.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever's under that mask. But I would love for anybody comes, any of the anti-Snyder people who I don't know why you hover in these chats in the channel, but for anybody, I'm not.
I mean,
saying
it could also be
that's
Tyler
correct.
Hoechlin under there. It could be Tyler Hoechlin. It could be
Okay,
Brandon Routh.
we're
It
not.
It
Gonna,
could be
okay.
you know, Dean Cain for all we know.
See, you're decreasing the odds with each name. We're not going to put on a Superman.
No, Dean Cain. It's like, come on. He would do that. Gunn would do Dean. He would put Dean Cain under there as like a big troll move.
That would be stupid, though. I would see that in like a TV show, but in a motion picture, I don't see that. I don't see whoever's under that mask is somebody that's in a motion picture. I don't think it's Ralph. That movie wasn't received well enough, and nobody watches CW. I don't think it's Hoechlin because nobody watches CW. So if you were going to do a swerve, you really only have one guy that would make any type of impact that a geek would care about.
Well,
otherwise, the general public is not going to care.
RJ, where's this going here? Yeah, if he's going by like comics canon, then Ultraman is not a clone.
Yeah, Ultraman is actually
he's an alternate universe Superman and an evil version at that.
I mean, it could be. We don't know how the story lays out. It could very well be a clone.
Well, and if, like with Bizarro, you got more kind of wiggle room with that because Bizarro, he's been portrayed as either a multiverse doppelganger or as a clone and everything in between. So,
which is,
Bizarro,
by the way,
Bizarro, you've got like more of like kind of an open canvas to work with as far as like clone or Elseworlds version.
Please don't fucking put Bizarro in this movie. If you want to do something with Bizarro as Bizarro later on, that's fine. But I'm fucking tired of people mishmashing Bizarro. Oh, he's got Superman powers. Look, it's Bizarro. Get the fuck out of here with that, please. Please. I am imploring you, James Gunn. Don't do that. Whoever this is under that mask, and I think it's just it's corn sweat, either by a clone or a different universe. I think it's corn sweat. I would be.
Guys, I'm gonna. I do not think. I do not believe this is corn sweat under the suit.
Okay, cool. You got a couple of weeks to figure that out. But like I said, there's really nothing to talk about on that level until we know who it is. But no Bizarro, no Doomsday. It's tired. Let's move on to something else. The only question is,
I think he's doing a clone that turns into Bizarro by the end of the movie. Yeah, but again, that's not Ultraman.
That's not Ultraman. That's not even Bizarro. Bizarro's not a clone. See what I mean? Why?
He's using the name Ultraman, but because it's Lex's creation.
Okay, RJ, I need an answer here. Why the fuck would we be using Bizarro for any of this? That doesn't fit anything. You could literally just introduce Bizarro at some point. I mean, I could see if you have like no budget and you're trying to fit 10 superheroes and you got like 10 episodes, you got 225 million. That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make sense for whatever. Like I said, if it's Ultraman, it's Ultraman. If it's Ultraman, it's Ultraman. I don't think Bizarro has anything to do with it. If it's Ultraman, it's Ultraman, and it's Clark Kent, or it is the alternate version of Superman. If he's used the Phantom Zone to access other Supermen, which would be an absolute fucking nightmare.
Well, he's used some kind of like parallel universe portal. I mean that much.
Yeah, but we don't know when
we don't know if it's the Phantom Zone specifically, but there is some kind of like reality opening portal through using this movie.
Yeah, and I don't know at what point does he access that portal. Does Ultraman, because it's out of sequence? You see him walking up to the Fortress of Solitude with Ultraman, but that could be on a return trip. I don't know, or he could have used some other. I don't know.
Which that I do think is probably pretty. I think that's a good, like your theory about like how the whole kind of like what's causing the city to like split apart like that. Like I think that is probably a pretty good possibility that Lex is like he brings Ultraman over and then he's his plot involves like hijacking Kryptonian technology in the future, but of course he doesn't understand alien technology, so he gets Ultraman, but he also is like, but there's also a side effect, like he cracks open this doorway into another reality, and that starts impacting
and he's using Metamorpho to help him. So like I said, could be a clone, could be another actual. If you're doing canon actual Ultraman, it's not a clone, it's Superman.
RJ says it's a villain created by Lex Luthor to replace Superman. It's a clone that will probably deteriorate or get defeated. Maybe something happens that turns him to a character similar to Bizarro. That's my theory, at least. I don't think they're doing any dimensional or multiverse stuff, just pure cloning of Superman DNA.
I think that's. I'm sorry. I love you, RJ. I think that's a horrible theory. You could
Yeah,
be right.
I
I
don't
think that's
the case
a
either.
bad theory. A, for one, it's a low quality theory, not your low quality, but it's a low. It's why would you shoehorn? You have no need for Bizarro in this movie. You have no need for Bizarro in this movie. You have Ultraman. Now, if you were going to, he's creating Ultraman outright, I could see it. But I don't see it. You know,
No, I don't think it's Nuclear Man.
no.
Even though it's like I've stood up for that character on here. I do believe he's deserving of some redemption, but I don't think it's him. No.
Okay, so if it's a clone, listen. Even though I don't see this, I don't see Bizarro ever. I don't see Bizarro until later on. But it's James Gunn. So I'm not gonna dismiss that possibility.
I don't think it's Parasite either.
Yeah, you
again,
guys
like,
are down the road.
well, again, like I said, it's like the fact that it was already confirmed via the toy line that's it's Ultraman. But again,
It's Ultraman.
but the fact that he put the photo and the name, Gunn went out of his way, I think, to like emphasize, yes, that this is not like Bizarro, this isn't Doomsday, this isn't any of these other like theories. This is Ultraman. I think this is meant to be emphatic, saying this is Ultraman.
If he is consistent with everything else he's done when it comes to comics in this movie, then that Ultraman is Ultraman. It's not Bizarro. It is when you see the face, it will be David Cornsweet. I don't think it's a clone, but that's not completely out of the realm. All right, we can go ahead and take that down.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I want to go ahead and bring that up because that's not like earth-shattering news, but it's a bit.
It's not even news.
But it is. I do think it is. For me, two things is that this is Gunn really emphasizing. Yes, the character is meant to be Ultraman. It's not meant to be like a reveal of like it's Bizarro disguised as Ultraman or something. So
yeah.
I think
once again, I would be. That's RJ. You could be 100% right. Only two things would truly disappoint me when it comes to this getting started off with James Gunn using some tired shit that somebody just fucking did. Two, shoehorning something into something that it is do a Bizarro story. I don't hate Bizarro, but if you want to do Bizarro, let's do Bizarro. Really, no one's really told that story really that in a way. They've always fucked it up and made something else into something else. And there's Bizarro. If you want to tell a true Bizarro story, I'm down for it. And I would love to see James Gunn treatment because he makes you, if he can make me care about Polka Dot Man right before he dies, spoiler alert, then I would love to see what he would do with Bizarro. But don't bring in some bullshit and then it's Bizarro or it turns into Bizarro who turns into this. And no, none. It's like Scooby-Doo. Once they took the mask off the killer or the thief or whatever, it was one guy.
But see, again, that's where I part ways with you and RG on my second part of why I want to bring this up is that I do this. I mean, the man did 2 Scooby-Doo movies, so
okay.
I think that's the other reason why I think he put that out today there is going to be, I think, a bit of like, let's see who you really are, and then I do not believe it's David Cornsweet under that mask. But we'll find out in 2 weeks.
I have seen, you could be right, RJ could be right, but I've seen nothing to tell me otherwise. But then again, guess what we have that could dispel all that? The movie. I'll know July 7th. I will know July 7th. I won't spoil it for you.
I'll probably, because I'm going to pick your brain because you're going to see it before I am. It's like I'll DM you straight away. It's like don't tell me who it is, but I'll just ask you.
I'll tell you who it's not. Maybe you want me to tell you.
Just confirm. Yeah. It's like, is it Cornsweet or not under there? It's like if you say yes or no, then okay, that's as far as I'll take it.
But before we get to this, James Gunn, listen, we have a mutual. Believe it or not, this YouTube nobody. We have a mutual. So there's just a microscopic chance that you're watching this right now. Probably none. Please, I need your help to end this Bizarro nonsense. This is a bad trend that's been going on all different platforms. If we're gonna do Bizarro, then let's do Bizarro. Please don't. You have an entire universe. You can do whatever you want. Please don't do the tired shit anymore. That's the whole appeal of me even sticking around for this DCU is to see something that I have not seen before. All right. Please don't bring out the old tired axe. That's literally why you're here. Because of 7 years of tired acts and retreading and just simplistic bullshit. So you're here. You can do whatever you want. If you're watching this right now, whoever is under that mask, if it's not David Cornwell, whatever the fuck it is, please don't let it end up being Bizarro. I will be so disappointed in that because I give you more credit than that. And this, I don't know what the infatuation, the fixation is with turning every Tom fucking Dick and Harry into Bizarro. I don't understand it. I never will. But please, let's not go down that road. I think there's a good chance you might, but I'm just letting you know beforehand. I'd be disappointed.
Oh, another one real quick from RJ.
Yeah,
I agree.
Dude, why don't you just come on? What the hell?
That's so. But yeah, it's not Zod. It's definitely not Zod, and it's definitely not Darkseid.
I don't think Darkseid. I don't think we're touching Darkseid till years down the line.
It's not.
If we're touching Darkseid, that means his contract got renewed.
Yeah, well, it's not Darkseid because you're not going to hide Darkseid as Ultraman, and you're not going to.
And you're not going to do.
You're not going to hide Zod like that either. So
yeah, and there's a long way to.
Yeah. Anyway, are you seeing people suggesting that might be Zod or Darkseid, RJ? Because yeah,
I have seen that, but the Bizarro thing has come up, and I'm like, people, what the fuck? All right, stop.
Yeah, it ain't Zod under that mask. It ain't Zod. It ain't Darkseid. It ain't Doomsday. I could see people making like the mental connection to Doomsday just because like the suit resembles the containment suit.
And that Ultraman suit is not necessary. And in the comics, you can clearly identify him as Superman. He just has a U.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's go on to. So this is my Superman. He will be at the parade. He's got the new costume, and he's got I have invited him and his cosplayer homies to including his Spider-Man. Spider-Man wants to show up. I've had
Rachel Zegler under there.
Nah, too skinny.
Yeah.
There he is. So he will be at the parade, and he will also be at our screening on July 10th. So for those of you in the Southern Nevada area, hook me up. I'm going to be tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start publishing the ways that you can be in on it with us. So I'm going to go at the beginning and start because we missed a lot of people. Let's see. Did you see the announcement to Wonder Woman? It's not an announcement. It's a backup story. We were talking about this the other day. It's a backup story in the one that's already coming out. It's not a full 30-page story. It's just a backup story that they've done. It's a 80. I think it's a huge, thick book that's coming out. I think the Batman and Deadpool is not it's actually a pretty thick book with a couple of different backup stories. So I hope that's where it stays because, to be honest with you, I have no use for any of that. But how you doing? My tour guide from last night. What's going on? Or this morning? Or yesterday morning? You saw Jurassic? Okay, yeah, that secret cinema thing.
Oh,
I've heard good things about it.
That's getting some pretty good early reactions. So, and of course, I'm much more the dinosaur guy here than William is. So, and notice how he never gets as annoyed when I bring up dinosaurs as I do when I bring up Kung Fu.
Well, because the dinosaur thing technically has a place here. I just don't. I'm just not into. I can't fiend excitement. If you want to, if I let you and all you guys get it, I'm just not excited about. I've decided right when I do this channel, I'm not going to be jumping up and down for things I don't care about and I'm not excited about. But I'm not going to quell I'm not telling you guys don't go see. Hey, listen, go with your stuffed dinosaur, go dressed up as a have all the fun in the world. It's just not for me.
Real quick thing on it definitely scaring better than last few. All right, I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. RJ's got one more here real quick. I'm gonna pull.
I just said, like, what the hell? What do you like, Chappie?
yeah, RJ, you're dropping a lot of comments.
Yeah, these Chappie dropped super chats. You just dropping paragraphs in here for free, motherfucker.
Darkseid is a character in the Mr. Miracle comic, but I think that because there is this animated series is greenlit, but I think it's Elseworlds project, not something set in the DCU. Well, again, and that's where he can really be expansive with the whole kind of canvas with the new gods existing outside of the multiverse timeline, and therefore
that's if he wants to do it that way.
That which would mean it's like, okay, there's everyone on New Genesis, everyone on Apocalypse. There's one version. There's one Darkseid. There's one there's one Calabac. There's one Orion. There's one Granny Goodness, et cetera, et cetera. So
unless they are off world and they get mixed up in place, but even still, I think they are unique. But yeah, I'm waiting to see if he ever does, do Darkseid. I mean, he could do it in this thing that's a couple of years down the road. I would be curious to see if it's the Darkseid we know, or has he created a different Darkseid? Then that would tell me a lot. No, I did not see Megan 2.0. I sent people to see it, but I did not. I did not.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a look this
yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, and I rarely eat. I only eat popcorn at the theaters when I get a popcorn bucket, and even then, I don't. I eat pretzels. Hello, Droga. So yeah, I hope they I hope it does well. It's almost football. Yep, you'll start your optional trainings are already happening. Hello, Azteca. What's going on?
Yeah, Azteca was good.
Let's see.
Oh, look who else is here.
Oh wow, hey. He's at the gym right now. Probably.
Yeah. Are you at the graveyard shift, the Jiff Man?
How you doing, Daniel Martin? What's going
How's
on?
it going? Clint says it's Ryan Reynolds. Clint's have fun with like all these like these. What if? Hey, here's another theory. What if it's George Clooney under there?
Nah. Jurassic World Rebirth reactions are all over the place after AMC screening. Probably gonna just be divisive. I think well, listen, divisive doesn't mean that's not successful. So I mean,
yeah, it's dinosaurs and it's Jurassic Park dinosaurs. I mean, that always prints money. So,
well, even the ones before, all of the last three have been divisive, and yet they've all crossed $1 billion. So I don't know.
And I mean, it's like I liked the Dominion. It's like that's the one that really got a device reaction. I liked it. That's got actually probably one of the best, like, Velociraptor chases. I think when they were chasing through Malta. That doesn't get enough credit, I don't think. That Malta chase with the Raptors, that was awesome.
I don't think this is the reason, because understand he is the studio. Warner Brothers Studio can't meddle in DC Studios because they're equal. David Zaslav can, but he's not. He's Warner. So when you're staying in the studio, James Gunn and Peter Safran are at the studio, so they would be meddling with themselves. I think that is the right decision to put the brand forward, everything else, because that's the brand you're trying to repair. When you see that brand, that if he does well, when you see that brand, like I said, if you go from a "oh no, what now?" whenever you see that logo into a "oh wow, what's next," then he will have done his job no matter how much this movie makes. To be honest with you. Skipping past all the Jurassic Park because I don't care. The Disney logo doesn't play in front of Marvel films. If you want to establish, DC Studios is its own entity. You don't need any other logo. Yeah, but this is a huge difference. It's a welcome sight, because that was the biggest difference in between us getting resolutions and continuing storylines and finished storylines and professional behavior was a studio head. And now that we have that, it's just like I said. I wish people are still angry. But you got to understand that your suffering led to James Gunn being able to make a movie without studio or without corporate interference. It's probably what you probably should have said to the studio, because he is the studio.
Braden asked if this is a multiverse evil version of Superman, why would he be teaming up with Lex? Well, he might be under like some kind of like mind control.
No, hold on, wait. Read that question again, and Braden, I want you to read that to yourself.
If this was a multiverse evil version of Superman, why would he be teaming up with Lex?
Because that would make them on the same side.
They're both evil. There's that too, yeah.
And they're he's Lex hates Superman, and Ultraman is going to hate another version of himself, because he's going to think that is a lesser being.
Well, I think he might.
I answer why it happens in the comic is because Ultraman sees Superman as a weak copy of him, and not the other way around.
I think he might be asking really, it's like, why does the marketing so far present Ultraman as subservient to Lex? Maybe is like, I think what you're getting at, Braden.
Because it's a trailer, and they're not going to give you all that. You'll probably hear him talking. You'll probably see Ultraman. To be honest with you, if I had to guess, Braden, you'll probably see the majority of Ultraman without that helmet. I think that helmet is for the marketing. I think you're going to get that reveal almost immediately.
No, I think that's a final battle reveal.
Why would it be? Why would it need to be?
Because that's the reason he's in the mask in the first place. I mean, that just suggests to me it's like this is meant to be like a big like oh shit, this is not who we thought it was moment.
I don't think that's why. I think that the final battle is going to be re-sewing the damn universe back together after Lex fucks it up. I think Ultraman's defeated by then. But if we're going by comics, Ultraman it hates. He looks at Superman as a pansy, and he hates him. Lex hates Superman for various reasons. So, it's an alliance. They both hate Superman. That's an easy one. All right.
Yeah, but again, it's like what we've seen so far. Like it presents or it suggests that Ultraman in the context of the movie, he's a henchman basically. Is the way it looks. So I think
it looks like that.
I think that's what
the way
Braden's
the trailer.
asking.
Yeah, because I think the trailer Braden presents him in that way, but I don't think that I would not be surprised at all to see him have a speaking role and have a more of a role. And I think I don't think he may, if he goes by the comics, he may tell Lex to go, kick rocks, and he'll have the power to tell him. He may, if he just wants to take out Superman, a lesser, weaker version of him, he doesn't need Lex to do that. And once Lex brings, if my theory is right, like I said, these are all theories that can get blown up in 10 minutes of the movie, and Lex has brought him over, he may not want to go back. he may have, because a lot of the Ultramen, if you look at the canon, they've wiped, they've messed up their world. So here's a fertile world for him to come fuck up. So it's like the Kryptonians in the Pocket universe messed up, Superboy's universe, and then they were going to come over here and basically do the same thing. And Superman's like, "Oh no, you got to die," and he just casually takes out some kryptonite and kills them. So who knows? But like I said, it's this is valid. But I think that, like I said, I mean, there's enough information that there could be no multiverse here, or there's enough information that there could be. I know that I think what I'm seeing in these trailers is the Pocket or the Phantom Zone collapsing and endangering the Earth, and Superman has to stop it somehow.
Well, I mean, again, I think that goes without saying, because I mean, it's not that it's not an earthquake that opens up Metropolis like we see in the trailer. I mean, we can clearly see this is some kind of like extra dimensional, ethereal kind of thing with like all the blue lights and stuff like that. This is some kind of like and also with like the laser battle that we see in the couple of the images of him like putting his boots on. This is meant to be like some kind of like doorway, to another corner of the multiverse.
And Ultraman, listen, this could be, because all we have as laymen, as outsiders, all we have is trailers. We're trying to piece together a movie it's like trying to make a pizza, and all you got is a pepperoni and this much cheese. It's really hard. For all we know, Ultraman could end up being the primary villain, and once Lex loses control of this shit, Ultraman is like, you know what? I'm going to open up this dimension to where I can bring in all my people through, and Superman has to fight him to get that close. He has to kill him, or he has to send him back. At the same time, he has to close that breach.
I just realized too, if that's what happens, I mean, this is like this Superman plot is basically the villain plot of Last Action Hero. Last Action. It's really, it's like, because here in this world, the bad guys can win.
I made it 18 minutes into the Last Action Hero before I gave.
Are you serious? That's Arnold's most underrated movie.
It's not. No, it's rated right where it's
Last Action
It's
Hero
rated right where it needs to be.
It
is rated right where it needs to be.
It's an all-timer. That's up there with Predator. That's up there with the Terminator movies.
Oh,
that's up
dude, I'm gonna let you.
That's up there with True Lies.
I'm gonna let you bury yourself with that nonsense.
That is one of Arnold's best. Is Last Action Hero.
Okay, whatever.
Damn right it is.
No, if it's ignoring that nonsense, but all your guys' theories are. There's nothing in any of these trailers that proves anything that you guys, including the Pizarro thing. But please don't let it be that. There's nothing in these trailers that dispels that. There's nothing. Everybody that has a theory right now, you have as much chance of being right as anybody else does, because we don't know. We don't have anything. We have like trailers and some behind the scenes stuff and some revelations here. I am piecing together what is canon, but once again, he can do whatever he wants. It could be anybody he wants to be under that mask. I think he's given away a lot of who it is, though, because whoever that is has Kryptonian powers, and I don't think it's Bizarro. And you can clearly make out, in my opinion, that that's David Cornsweet, even with the obstruction. But hey, Brad is wishing something, and that's cool. Until July 7th, all you guys can wish. None of these theories can be thrown out until we see the movie. All right. They're going all out for this movie. Whatever happens, it won't be for lack of trying. They're doing everything they can for mine. They're throwing a lot at you all at once. I wish it had been wish it had been spread out over time to. And by the way, I am going to do a stream on DC Showcase because that, I wanted to give them a lot of time to get their footing.
I'll be right back.
It's been a while. DC Showcase should have been should be a lot more than it is at this point. I think I really think they should transform that show into something better, what I thought it could be, what I thought it should be, because I think it's underserving the DC universe right now. But yeah, I wish we have been talking. And remember, this movie is only one movie. I could see this type of campaign if we were only talking about one movie. We're talking about an entire universe. This isn't just about Superman. There are going to be some people who won't see Superman, but may see the other movies down the line. You have some people that like Creature Commandos from this universe that don't care about Superman. So what we're talking about here, and I think the advertising campaign should have been focusing on the entirety of, of the possibility of the universe a lot longer than, the compressed one we got now. But it's not my money. It's not my movie. This is their game. I am doing my part. I am promoting it, doing what I can. I just wish I had more to work with and longer to work with it. And I don't think I'm alone there. But hey, like I said, I think it's gonna do fine. I think it's gonna do good enough. I don't know about $1 billion. There are if you say something can make 650 million to 700 million, you're by default saying that something can make $1 billion, because it only takes 25% of the viewership to come back multiple times, and there you go. There's your math. And you got kids that are going to drag their parents to come see Crypto, even if the parents hated the movie. Let's say the movie sucks. Kids don't care. You think a 5, 6, 7-year-old kid, 8-year-old kid is going to be sitting there looking at the CGI and say, that's just not quite what I think CGI could be. You think that the 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old kid is going to be having these stupid ass Henry Cavill versus Corn Sweat battles? No. They're going to drag mom and dad, if not both of them, to the movies multiple times with their Crypto plushies. So if 25% of your audience is multiple and repeat viewers and their kids, yeah, there's a possibility you could reach $1 billion. Do I think it's going to be? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. But wouldn't shock me at all. Like I said, whenever you have something that fluffy shit that kids love, look, that little blue thing from Lilo and Stitch. That's a moneymaker. That little blue goblin thing. I have no use for Lilo and Stitch, but marketing wise, they had that damn thing at the Super Bowl eating up the field. That's brilliant. I'd have had Crypto out there eating up the field. I'd have had Crypto stealing the ball and flying away. I would have had Crypto taking that ball and landing at stadiums all over, all kinds of stuff. That's what I would have been doing in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's just me, but I think that, I wouldn't surprise me if Superman made 650 million, 600 million. It wouldn't surprise me at $1 billion. And I'm going to say the same thing for Fantastic Four. I think I think people are underestimating Fantastic Four, and that's fine. I think there's enough there, and this trailer tomorrow might help. But I think that the A-listers for Marvel just don't fail them. They just don't fail them. I mean, and I still got crow bags and people that are like, it's gonna flop, and I'm like, how, what? And none of these people can ever answer the question, when is the last A-lister, the A-list of Marvel movie, MCU movie that flopped? It's fucking crickets. There is no answer. I'll give you to 0 to count, because that's all you need. Unless you can't count.
Okay, so
then you can Google.
Here's like something I'll tack onto that. It's kind of like I don't like devil's advocate, but like Thor 5. Like if
brought this up,
like I no argument brought this up. No.
When you brought up a Thor, you thought, because we established $700 million.
Thor 5. If that came out tomorrow, how do you think that does?
700 plus.
I highly doubt it does that. No, that Thor is on the downturn. I think it tops out of 500.
I'm gonna bet on people who probably know more than us how to push that movie. that movie's not doing less than 700 million.
I think that really, really takes a downturn after Love and Thunder.
No, especially if it's intertwined. Because remember, you're thinking of an individual movie. If you are intertwining Thor into this Doomsday and the Secret Wars thing, oh, you can forget about it. That's 700 million plus. Easy.
No, I see.
I will bet you.
I think Love and Thunder did a lot of damage to Thor.
Nope.
As a singular character.
It's not a singular character. Thor's not a singular character.
Love and Thunder itself is lost like 150 million from from what Ragnarok did. So I just don't see it like doing.
Okay, but you also
700
range. You're most likely wrong. But here's the one caveat that you're left out, and that I just repeated. If this is linked up, and it will be, because guess who's going to be a major part of all this? Loki. So if that is connected to Doomsday and Secret Wars, Ragnarok was not, and Love and Thunder was not. And that still made those two maybe a shitload of money. So now out of those movies, you're taking one and you're putting it in that tide with Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah.
No, see, I just don't see that doing enough to buoy Thor as like his next movie. It's like
you can continue to think that. I think you're out of your mind.
No, we will see. But now we actually have a couple other candidates suggested here for the identity of Ultraman. Daniel Martin says Josh Gad. William Slice. Oh, it's Blade. We're finally gonna see Blade. But
wow, that's another thing. Did you hear about that? Mahershala Ali didn't sound.
Oh, I wrote an article on that. I had one go live on that where he talked about it's like, hey, call Marvel, I'm ready. Or there was one quote he said to Variety or said that, hey, call Marvel, I'm ready to do it when they are. And then the other one was he said something to the effect of like, I'm just taking it day by day, and we'll see what happens.
They're not ready for him. I mean, it's that simple. I hear all these conspiracy theories and why it's not happening, and there's only one answer. Kevin Feige, it doesn't fit in his narrative. And last I looked, Kevin Feige's running Marvel Studios right now.
I'm pulling this up right now because I wrote this too.
Oh Jesus, it's self-congratulating. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you're getting a Blade movie anytime soon.
Well,
now, here's the thing, though.
But that doesn't mean that it should be this hard.
No, it's not hard. What's the difficulty? There's no difficulty.
There's no difficulty because it's
There's
Blade.
No difficulty.
It's not this hard.
No, if you don't want to do something, there's no difficulty. So in order for you to use difficult, you're speaking for Kevin Feige, and that's a tall.
Oh, here's
tall
another
banner.
one where I didn't speak for him, but I did give him a suggestion.
Why would he need suggestions from us?
I did this about a couple weeks ago.
All right, guys.
Fortress.
Hold on. Before we get into this,
I laid this out, okay? I laid this out, all right? Okay, he goes to a vampire hideout, and he goes to work. It's like, and then the end credits scene. He meets Nick Fury. So it's basically the raid.
Hold on.
No, I'm on.
If Kevin Feige wanted Blade, and I know this is not complicated. You're looking at a dummy here. If Kevin Feige wanted Blade to happen, Blade would be happening. All the conspiracy theories, all the turning yourself into a pretzel trying to figure shit out, all the degrees of difficulties, it's simple. If Kevin Feige desired for there to be a Blade at this point in time, a Blade movie, there would be a Blade movie. I don't understand why this is so difficult to comprehend. If he wanted it to happen, it would be happening. Clearly, he does not see it in his narrative and agenda, especially for a solo movie. Now, keep in mind, that doesn't mean he ain't going to pop up in one of these goopy multiverse episodes that we're about to have. And that could be something that's kept secret. Be honest with you, I would be a pleasant surprise to see Mahershala Ali and Wesley Snipes for one last time coming out there. That would be, could you imagine the crowd reaction? But as far as like a solo movie goes, if Kevin Feige wanted it to happen, there's not, when people say, well, why is it so hard to make a Blade movie? Because he doesn't want to do it. It's just, it's why is it so hard for me to eat a fucking pineapple right now? It's not hard. I just don't want to do it. I think pineapples are disgusting. So if I don't have the desire to do something, it's not hard. I just don't want to do it right now. It doesn't fit in what I'm doing. Pineapples don't fit my appetite. They're disgusting. It's not hard for me to eat a pineapple. Just don't want to do it. So why? Can we? All right, Brad. There you go. Go ahead, Brad. It's all yours. I'm going to remove myself. Read your article.
Okay, so going back to everything I wrote here. Okay, so
And this is a long one.
Basically, as I called it, the raid with Blade to William's shock, I'm sure. Okay, he goes into a building full of vampires. He spends 2 hours chopping them up and spin kicking them, and walks out. Sun rising. There's Nick Fury saying, "Hey, we need help here. We got a multiverse crisis going on. We could use some of your talents." There you go. I just plugged it into the MCU. There is literally no possible way this doesn't work.
You've been on the air with me
There is
for what, 2 years
literally
now?
no way this doesn't work.
This might
No
be
possible way
the
this doesn't
silliest
work.
thing you've come up with. Okay.
I solved
I'm gonna
it.
play
It's
though.
like, take
There's
down
no
vampires.
solving. Did you just not hear me?
It fits into the MCU narrative now.
Did you
There is
just not
no
hear?
possible way this doesn't work.
Why would
None.
I do so? Why would he do that? He doesn't need to.
It's like we could use more help.
No, he doesn't
the
need the help.
Vampire Hunter could be very
He
useful
doesn't-
in this.
You know what he
Feige.
needs?
Right? You gave us a fourth Thor, and it was a piece of shit. And you spent 6 years. How
Hey,
is this
listen.
hard?
Your desire
I-
to see
So
Blade.
William Grant, I'm going on. This is
Your
usually what
desire.
William does.
I don't go on ramps. I go on observations. Yours is a rant because it has no basis in anything that even remotely should be happening.
Yeah, see, Aaron's with me because we're
Of
simpatico.
course, whatever. That's a cult. That's what a cult is.
Siblings.
That's disgusting. He doesn't want to do it, dude. What part of you? What part can you not
There
accept
is
that?
literally no way this doesn't work.
First of all, that's
None.
lame. That is lame. But why? What is? Answer me
Building
this.
vampires, chopping up Nick Fury, Secret Wars,
Okay.
cut
All
to
right.
black.
All right.
Oh,
Let's go back to the default. He doesn't want to do
Yeah.
it right now. That's it. That's it. That's
let's
it.
go back to these other Ultraman theories though, because we kind of got sidetracked with Blade there.
Well, we got sidetracked with Ultraman
Well,
theories.
well,
That's
well,
what we got sidetracked with.
Well, also this brought up too. Blade is that would be hilarious. So it's not going to happen. It's not Wesley Snipes or Marshall Ali in there, but I think you mean Jean-Claude Van Damme here. No, it's fine.
All right, so we're gonna get silly now.
Captain Marvel. Oh, but guys, it's like I think we actually do have a big plot twist here. As I told you, I mean that's why you hide. That's why you hide his the identity under the containment
No,
suit. But
That's
as you
not
guys
why you-
as you guys
Sure,
will find
right.
out in 2 weeks, it turns out I'm Ultraman. RJ, it's like my secret's out. Thank you, RJ.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think Disney would ever greenlight a dark, gritty True Detective. They greenlit the continuation of Daredevil, and that's some dark and violent shit, dude. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm glad it's DC because that's what DC is more, especially when it comes to Galactus stuff like that. I'm so looking forward to that Green Lantern show. I cannot wait for that Green Lantern show. You'll actually
Do
see
you
me
think we'll get
genuinely
anything
hyped.
from it at Comic-Con this year?
I think so. But yeah, I cannot wait for Lanterns.
I'm channeling Gilbert Gottfried. Do I sound like it when I go off like that? Actually, not RJ. Droga sent me something. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up.
Oh Lord.
What was it? Because no, it's like William and I were good. It's like we just disagree about a Blade movie. Yeah, like,
I'm sorry, Aaron. Much as I
Yeah,
love you, you lost me at the Arrowverse.
well, she told me this a little bit ago too. Yeah, so I can see.
Listen, dude. This is as much as I'm telling you that I have more of a chance of literally going balls on my forehead right now while this show is airing. I would love that. Those odds are so slim, but dude, that would be a fucking amazing if that were there. It has probably absolutely, in fact, I'm going to say it has no chance of happening. But if I'm sitting there on July 7th and that's who it is, that is going to blow. I'm going to come out of the theater
break
and
the internet.
text
If that's
Brad.
what happens.
I'm going to come out. I'm going to leave the theater and I'm going to turn my phone back on if they allowed us to have our phones.
And you're
And
gonna
I'm
call
gonna
me
say,
instead.
Brad. Fuck spoiler alert. You know who it was? You know who this was?
Well, I guess that's how I know if it is him. It's like if I get that, like,
You get a call
Frenzy
from
phone call.
702. Brad, pick up the phone. But because, like I said, there's no chance in hell.
Well,
of that
because what
happening.
time? What's the time of that show?
7 o'clock. So yeah,
So that'd be
I'll
like
get out.
10 o'clock. So okay, so
Well,
we'll
no.
be-
If they pull that, because you're gonna get that reveal midway through the movie. If they pull out that mask and that's him, I'm coming. I'm gonna get up because I'll be sitting on the edge. I'm gonna come out here. I'm gonna 7. Hey, Brad, fuck dude, you fucking
Brad is Cavill.
you're not gonna
Okay.
fucking believe it. It's him, dude. It's him. But I fully understanding that it will not.
Well,
be.
if that again, like I mean, obviously that's like it. You don't do that in a vacuum. So if it did, there's obviously implications to that. But that, like as I said in the the piece I wrote about, it's like if Gunn did pull something like this, then he's probably not going to give you like the how and the why of it in this movie. So like the only way to like get the answer, like what that is intended to, the only way to get the answer about that.
It won't be the Cavill we know and love. It'll be an evil Cavill from somewhere else.
There's large implications. I mean, obviously that factors into the multiverse and everything. The only way to find out, as I said in the piece I wrote on, the only way to find out like what his end game with that is if he does that, he's got like basically like the whole audience.
That's going to be a blow
hook,
up.
Hook, line, and sinker. Because then it's like the only way to find out like what that's all supposed to mean is like you have to follow the franchise, like what he's doing with it.
Or you know what? Here, I'm going to pull something out of my ass right now that has no basis in anything probably going to happen. All right, so this takes place. This is complete. I should put complete bullshit so that you guys.
I can type it up for you if you want me to.
William thinks that it's good. No, this is just me just having fun at 12:58.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
So, Superman 2025 takes place while the Superman that we know in the Nightmare is in existence. And he can't. Oh, because remember, Ultraman.
There it is.
Yeah, Ultraman in our comic book universe is not affected by kryptonite. It actually powers him.
Yeah,
we covered that a couple weeks ago. But say for some instance that it's the same things, like Zack Snyder's universe has different properties when it comes to kryptonite. So when that evil Superman comes over to our universe, he can't take that, but he can wear a containment suit that reverses the effects of our sun. So that version of him could be in your Ultraman. So your Ultraman, yeah. And then Superman basically shoves him back into that universe, seals it up, and then we now know that universe is existing somewhere in time. And then that Ultraman
that could be interesting because that contain that one image, like that has like, as you other people say this, that has like kind of like a nightmare feel to it.
Yeah, and this is just complete utter bullshit, by the way, guys. This is just complete. That just popped in my head now. But yeah, so during the Nightmare time is lines up with this,
with the present day timeline of his when Superman takes place.
Lex realized that he's got counterparts all over the place. He's probably going to realize that too, that if there's a counterpart Superman, there's a counterpart Lex, and it could start a whole bunch of things. That is not going to happen. I just thought of that right now. That'd be cool if that happened.
That would be awesome.
It'd be a lot of fun. I just don't think that he would do Ultraman this soon into the DC.
He is.
He's doing it. I don't think he would introduce the multiverse. I think the best thing, and I said this a couple of years ago when he first got the job, the best thing he could do was introduce the multiverse or Elseworlds. I hate the word multiverse, by the way. I know it's DC's term, but Marvel's fucked it up.
Yeah.
I said day one, minute one, establish Elseworlds, the branding and everything else, simply because it gives you room to do what you want, but accept other ideas and not have to turn things down, and to do things that could be drastic and attached to other things. So I think day one. I don't think that DC should ever wait to jump into multiverse.
Oh yeah,
DC created it.
Now that I think about what you just said, it's like that would be pretty awesome. It's like Ultraman is like he's ported him over from the Nightmare timeline. Corrin Sweat battles him. He sends it back to his world, and he's back in the Nightmare timeline. So that could work. That could be awesome if he did that.
Corrin Sweat doesn't defeat him. He
defeats him from stopping him from ruining the world.
He defeats him by busting up his uniform and now that the reality containment suit that makes our universe different from his, he would be weakened by it, and then he has to take him back into the pocket dimension, and he throws him back through, and then he's back into.
And he's just set back there permanently. And
you see it when you see him landing in the field. It does a wide shot, and you see the apocalypse syndrome.
Yeah,
and then goes back onto his other thing.
And you know what else could make that? Again, this is like such a long shot for us to like call this that accurately if it were to happen. But you know what? Why that could work is because Nightmare Superman, he's already under because he's subject to the anti-life equation, so he's already under mind control.
Yeah.
So like, Lex could leverage that.
I think it would add to the story. It would add. I disagree, guys. I see you guys think multiverse. Hold on. Multiverse, you guys, not necessarily you fourth, but I know too many people when they hear multiverse. That's why they should stop using the word. They think of Marvel. Marvel multiverse is not DC multiverse. Marvel multiverse is used as a plot device to get to where they want to get to in a story. DC is the multiverse. Multiverse is DC. It is DC. Multiverse is part of the story. You don't start with it. It's there once you begin. If you're doing DC right, that's the strength of DC, and that's why when DC fails is when they don't recognize that. Not just in cinema, not just in TV shows, but on comics too. This is why we've spent the last 38 years unfucking ourselves from Crisis. Look where we're at. If you look at where we're at right now, I got Superboy comics in continuity on my shelf right now. And I'm not talking about Conrail. I'm talking about actual Kal-El Superboy being linked back up, got Crypto in there. He's linking up Unlimited Superman. They got a story in there where he's linked back up with the Legion of Superheroes. All that stuff was undone by Crisis. So we spent literally 40 years, a lifetime, unscrewing the whole thought that DC doesn't need to do multiple stories. No, multiverse is DC. DC is multiverse. Now it's Elseworlds because somebody else has bastardized the term. But no, there is no DC without the multiverse. There is no multiverse without the DC or Elseworlds. It is part of their story. And I think that the problem is that because we've had boneheads running these companies for so long, that they just don't know how to make the general audience understand that there is no this without that. Yeah. You know?
RJ says, I think you're only broke your mic, create static. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just like I just had to get that out because like it was like the vocalized version of that article.
Can you? Oh, hold up. Can we hear your static again? Because I can hear your static, but I thought the general public couldn't hear.
Well, I'm on my laptop tonight too, so
yeah. Chat. Let me know if we can hear back because I can hear your static, but if the audience can't hear it, I'm okay with it.
And what was this one Aaron brought up? Yeah, I just had a minute ago. Can we do a Vegas bet on his Capital or not?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, Vegas. Can we do a Vegas bet? It's like
it's James.
I'm not quite to that point, but I do feel pretty confident that like my suspicion that it's not Corn Sweat under there. That's what I feel safe enough saying right now. Like if you're asking me like who's under that mask, I'm confident enough to say not Corn Sweat.
I'm confident to say that it is based on the footage we've seen and based on he is not deterred from canon yet. When I see him go off of canon, then I will expect anything. But right now, it's Corn Sweat for me. No, I'm not assisting him in what we don't know at what context that these guys are going to be in there. We don't know. We know that you have for all the shooting with Jessica Jones. Who, by the way, she didn't have a bad show. I
liked season one, and then
yeah, I ran out of time.
Actually, ironically, it's like Defenders is where she kind of lost me.
Yeah, Defenders lost me. I don't think, to be honest with you, you're going to see the Defenders doing that. I think you will see characters through there. I don't think you're going to see them all as a Defenders, and I don't think they're getting a show. Especially in this era of Marvel, where they're cutting back on their shows and they're reprioritized. We're focusing their energy on this, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. I don't think you're going to see what you saw in the Netflix show. Hey, guess what? Remember, I'm gonna keep to my word. If that ends, if I feel that Daredevil show is being cluttered, I'm just gonna stop watching.
And RJ says, "Yeah, I'm fine now." It's just it must. I guess it just comes across that when I raise my voice, which I don't. I think it's the only time.
Yeah, because you squeal. Here. It's so funny. Squeal.
Well, it was the point that it required emphasis because it's like the raid with Blade, end credit scene, Secret Wars. I mean, there's like
You
there is
blew a
literally
gasket over something.
no possible way this doesn't work.
Be the absolute lamest.
It's like I need to
lamest-
schedule a meeting with Feige to make this
And
happen.
you were going to get thrown out of that office, man.
I'm gonna raise my voice like
you're
it's loud.
going to
I
get
just
low.
did
You're
there
going to
for
be
that.
carried away. They're going to drag your ass away. He doesn't have to become Baradar in his movie, even, but it's a character that's called Ultraman. That he's a clone. No, Ultraman's not a clone, though. I mean, once again, it's whatever James Gunn wants to do. But until I see that he's broken canon, then I'm going to assume that he's going with canon. Ultraman's not a clone. Ultraman is Superman. I mean, it depends. But hey, you know what? There are different versions of Ultraman. RJ, this one could be a clone.
And yeah, like I said, this is I was saying this a minute ago. This is what Droga sent to me. It's not one of those. Well, it kind of is, but it's
some creepy shit.
It's so. Are you two friends? William says no. I see us. No, we're guys. We're good. It's like we just arguing about cave shit. It's like we're not. No falling out happening. What are you talking about here?
Yeah, listen, guys. All right, go ahead and take that now, because
I think I look more like Nicotina here, though. To be honest,
you look more like Al Pacino from The Godfather Part 2, and I don't look like Tim Russ.
Well, you got like your head's like squished down like that.
Yeah, that's quite creepy. I will delete this channel before the channel ever becomes that. Once, no matter who I'm on the screen with, once it ever gets to that level, I will delete the channel. You will look for the Sci-Fi Center Presents, and it won't be there. This channel will never become that. It will never get to that level. All right. I mean, there are things, a channel can become that, and that's fine. Everybody does their thing the way they want to do it. But when you see me talking to somebody on a screen and it sounds like it's getting crazy, understand what I am telling you right now, and I will keep that promise. Before it ever gets to the level where it would get to that, where fuck Brad and all this shit, and I'm tweeting about Brad or doing some other shit, I will delete this channel first. It is not that serious, and it can never ever become personal with you and the person on the screen. It just can't happen.
Williams told me
it's fun.
Williams told me, like, when he was on Poindexter Lounge before, because I was never on before we linked up. He said, you guys used to like go like way more intensely.
We used to scream. It used to be crazy. I mean, it used to be and it would be for hours. I mean, on end. It would be like 2 hours. Yeah, on the same thing. And then guess what? Something else would come up, and we would literally switch our minds to that. And we would be, you would be thinking you're watching the same show, but you wouldn't know you're watching the same show, because once we flipped the switch, that was it. It's over.
I think Drogas is being facetious here.
I think he is, but I just want to make sure, because if somebody in the chat brings it up, then a person watching the show for the very first time, that might be something that they're thinking. I just want to make sure you guys understand.
And
I will
understand too. Like, I'm having fun when I did my big raising my voice, this is literally, it doesn't work. That's like, it's. I mean, I stand behind my point of that article I wrote, but that's for a little bit of dramatic effect, if anybody couldn't tell. So yeah, I'm not like talking down to William or anything. We're very good. We're still stream buddies. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a show where we're talking about. It should never get that way. If I like Superman, I might try and beat Dune Guy's record to see it 21 times in the theaters. I'm already seeing it 3 times. I mean, I'm seeing it twice. Like I said, somebody in Vegas, if you missed out on a seat, I have an extra one.
What is my record for repeat viewings in a?
Oh, I'm pretty sure I've seen Blade Runner 50, 60 times.
No, but repeat viewings in a theater.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
I think the most I've gone for anything is 6 or 7.
Of course.
Yeah. I think it's the most I've ever gone for any one thing is 6 or 7. And that's for things like I mean, I have to think it's fantastic, obviously, to see that amount.
Yeah.
But, well, like Ballerina, I've done a bunch of times. So I mean,
wow, damn! I've seen it the one time. I enjoyed it.
Well, you saw it early. The first thing you came out there and said, "You're gonna love this," and it's and I did. So
yeah, but I just don't have. And a lot of this time is because I don't have the time. To be honest with you, it's just a time thing for me. And plus, I just have to be in the mood.
Pascal.
He's everywhere else.
Yeah, the dude's just the busiest man in the business right now. Hi, Dan. Here's for entertainment's sake.
Oh, again?
He said, "I had aneurysm for entertainment's sake." Yeah, it's like, guys, it's like I do this for my adoring audience.
Speaking of Doom Aside, I heard that Robert Pattinson. There's nothing wrong with adding.
I actually saw Jurassic. Daniel Martin says I saw Jurassic World 7 times. Very nostalgic. Yeah, I like Jurassic. I remember Predators when that came out. I saw that quite a few times theatrically because that for me that was like, oh, this is such like a return to form for the series. I'm hoping that Badlands repeats that, and I have total confidence. Dan Trachtenberg, I've written a few recently on what he's done with Predator. It's like I've told that man's like got my fealty as far as everything he's doing with Predator. It's like what he's doing, I am so on board.
I saw this poster and I'm going to try to look it up. I really like this poster. I wish this would.
So, and this does. I don't know if it was confirmed, but this before, but this does confirm. Yeah, it is being. We're going to.
James Gunn released this poster earlier tonight.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about this poster, and it's the only thing I don't like about it, is just too many fucking people in it. But they're all in the movie, so it's relevant.
Yeah, it is. That well, I mean, it's a very Superman pose like that. So.
Well, it's Superman. It's got. I mean, it's not a floating head type of situation. At least I don't think so. It's got all the people that are relevant in it, and Superman is big in the forefront. I do like this poster.
And you notice Ultraman's not on any of the posters. That's he's like any of the posters that have multiple characters. He's the one that they keep omitting from like all the which again that also like lends or fuels my theory that is not Coruscant under there.
Like I said, I don't see how it could be anywhere else, but like I said, we're also talking about a crazy.
Look at that.
It could be Donald Duck under that. I don't know.
Look where they got Crypto there.
Crypto's right in the middle.
Crypto's like there with like his ear perch stuff, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good use of Crypto there on the poster.
Sitting next to a guy who probably doesn't like him. But yeah, this is that's Jimmy. But Crypto, that's the money. That's the money. Crypto's dead center in this poster, and so you notice how Superman is. The three most important people in this movie, Lex Luthor, Superman, and Crypto, are all in one line like that. That's kind of cool. I like this. That last poster where he's stepping on the O logo and it looks like it's 1978. I don't like that poster.
I wasn't over the moon about that one.
Yeah, I wasn't. And the reason why I wasn't a big fan of that is because, like I said, I'm not a big nostalgia guy, and I was there. The feelings that he's supposed to emote in there would come from a guy like me who saw those movies in the movie. But
for me, it wasn't even like a nostalgia because I mean, people said it's like it evokes either Christopher Reeve or Superman Returns. It wasn't even like I just thought it was like one of the weaker posters. Like that for me, like the best one has been the Look Up one. That's been the best poster for my money so far.
Oh, the one I have.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're talking about the one he's shooting.
Yeah, I've been literally looking up, and he's got like the multicolored kind of trails behind him. That for my money, because it's colorful, but it's also minimalist. So that it gets the message across very easily about like, okay, you got the next Superman movie coming up.
I could see this. These numbers right here. I could see this.
Superman has to be relatively around 650 to 800 more realistically. Yeah, I could.
Superman breaks 700. That's a win. I don't care if it loses some money. People are coming up with ridiculous estimates that it would, but okay, let's play devil's advocate and say these are true. Doesn't matter at this point. And I think even Warner Brothers Discovery may finally understand that they gotta plant something. They gotta plant seeds in order to grow a tree, and you can't keep kicking up the dirt. I think they may have learned from the previous regime's failures, because it's not going to matter how big the budget of this movie was. This is the one time where I'm going to say Mask is not undefeated, because Mask is a longer game where the battle is longer than just one movie. If people come out of this movie, like I said, and they're instead of them coming out of the what now? What are these what have they done now? And they're like, oh wow, what's next? Then whatever money you spent or lost or broke even on was worth it. You will never be able to get that again. That response is priceless. That response, given the last 7 years, given Batgirl, I don't care, don't release it. Given Gleek and Jan and Jen and the Wonder Twins, given Harley Quinn and that fantabulous fuck up of a movie, given all the stuff that's happened from 2017 to now, to have people walking out of your theater ready for your next thing, doesn't matter how much it costs to get there, because that's an investment in not just one movie. That's an investment of a universe now. So if it makes 700 million or a little bit less, breaks even or whatever, that should not be the conversation. The conversation should be, does this make you want to see another movie by these people? So long and short of it. And if the answer is yes, then there you go. Because guess what? A lot of people aren't going to go see this movie simply because they can't afford to. And that goes for Fantastic Four too. They just can't afford to right now. Times are tough right now. And if you got a family and kids, like I've always said, minimum $125 to have a decent time at the movie for a family of four. And that's without the popcorn buckets. So you're looking at PVOD. You're looking at HBO Max. You're looking at physical media. So we're not going to stop counting the money for another 6-7 months after this movie was released. You won't be able to do an autopsy or a parade until we see where the money stops. Also, measuring how people feel. We'll be like Monday night. We're going to be, I'll be there. People will be doing surveys. How do you feel about this movie? Most important question, are you excited for what comes next from this universe you just saw? If the answer is no, you're in trouble. But if the answer is yes, doesn't matter how much you spent on this movie, how much it makes at this point, because those people will come around. Those people will come around, and then you'll see the dividends in Supergirl. You'll see the dividends in the ratings for Lantern. So, yeah, if both of these movies made this amount of money, that'd be good, and I wouldn't be surprised if either one of them broke and made more. I think potentially, like I said, there are X factors involved here. With the for that could swing Superman both ways. The dog could bring in 25% more than what we're looking at here, or But the other reason, like I said, the factor of it's a family movie. I'm broke. I can barely afford to feed my family, let alone entertain them. So we're gonna wait, till it comes here. And then same thing with Fantastic Four. I think Fantastic Four is more of even though Fantastic Four people like to bring up that, the previous movies, that doesn't mean shit. People have faith in MCU A-listers, and 750 million, I think is right around where. But I would not be surprised because if I walk out of that screening, and Robert Downey Jr. is all over that movie's going to make more than that. I'm not saying he's in it, by the way, but there are X factors we don't know about. I highly doubt that he's not. That's just William. So yeah, I think you're right in the ballpark. Let's see what is happening here. Yeah, you guys are destroying this show. Pineapples are Ultraman, and I'll leave the theater. What if no, that wouldn't have the response. That would piss off. I think that would universally piss off.
That would.
Even people that are gun nut people, those people will be like, what? And then he's like in the movie, like he's in the movie for like 30 minutes. He's not even a cameo. He's like in the movie.
Yeah. I think we could all agree. Like he loves to troll, but I mean, this is like crossing the line on that.
The general audience has been apathetic towards both releases from MCU this year. I understand Captain America 4 might have been in previous years, but Thunderbolts really didn't do anything. Daniel. I love Thunderbolts. So what I'm about to tell you is I love Thunderbolts. Yeah. I love that movie. And that scene, the whole You're Not Alone scene, man, I love that scene. Thunderbolts is a collection of B-listers and C-listers that weren't even C-listers in their own shows. Every one of those characters is derivative from other things. They aren't A-listers. And Marvel, it's like I tell you, those of you who have pets, once you open up that can and you feed the Alpo the good shit to the dog and you come back the next day with some kibble, what does the dog do? He sniffs it and then he lays down next to it. Now, he'll eventually eat it, but he's waiting for you to open up the can and break open that good shit. And that's what Marvel has done to their fan base when it comes to the A-listers for so many years. They have treated certain tiers of characters like A-listers, and that's what their fans identified with. There are no A-listers. There's not one A-lister in Thunderbolts. There's some Z-listers in Thunderbolts. I mean, you got two of the best things about the movie are from a movie that was really lackluster, and that's Black Widow. I got another person, Ghost, was from a movie that a lot of people didn't even see, let alone like, in Ant-Man Wasp: Quantumania. Captain America, a lot of people without Steve Rogers, that Captain America is considered a B-lister or Z-lister, and that includes Captain America. So you got a bunch of people that were from things that people didn't really go see, but they put them together and they made an awesome movie. So when we're talking about the two movies that you're talking about, Captain America 4, if it's not Steve Rogers, it's going to be considered a B-lister because Captain America is Steve Rogers. And the other one was Thunderbolts, which had like literally Z-listers. Awesome movie though. Captain America 4. So those two movies are not going to have as much effect on anything, even though Thunderbolts being good should help it. But I don't think, you know, when you say Fantastic Four, Avengers, Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr., you're talking at a level that none of the stuff that's on this list could ever compete with, ever. It would, you know. So, yeah, Marvel lights, Marvel heads, they want those A-listers, man. They'll deal with your B-listers. They'll deal with your Captain Marvel, as long as it's leading them to that big tray of beef. Thunder's
Suicide Squad also turned out instead of Blade, Ghost Rider, Punisher, or Daredevil movies.
Well, you're not going to get Daredevil. I don't think you're going to get Daredevil movies.
You're not getting, but yeah, I think probably like because of between Netflix and now Born Again, and I think they're pretty comfortable.
Well,
like,
okay,
he's a TV character.
That, and you'd have to work out deals with Sony. You know, they're greedy as fuck, and you have to pay to use.
Well, that's why I think, like, cinematically, it's like it'll be any appearances he makes will be.
Or
unless is he going to be in Secret Wars?
He may, but it wouldn't be. It would be.
Yeah, it's either any cinematic appearances. It's going to be either an ensemble or a cameo, like No Way Home. I think.
And I think even in Secret Wars, he's going to be a cameo. Here's the thing, though. Just like I explained to Brad here, it doesn't fit right now. You guys are trying to fit this guy. I trust Kevin Feige to tell a story.
The article up again?
No. I listen. Who do we trust more with the MCU? Us guys on the outside, or the guy on the inside who I think has a pretty good. I think he knows what he's doing. Like I always tell you, that's like this is like me.
Out.
This is like me.
Secret Wars.
Hey, pilot. I don't like the way you're flying the plane. Can you let me at the controls? It's not going to happen. It doesn't fit. I understand this. I'm seeing now that this is hard for you guys to accept, that it's in your head, but not his plans. You will get Blade when he's ready for you to get Blade. No sooner, no later. That's it. There's no conspiracy. He's not sitting around in an office, hiding under his desk saying, oh my God, I can't tackle Blade when I've tackled all this other stuff. Oh no, what do I do? No, it doesn't fit. When it fits, why would you want Blade any sooner than the guy who's ushered all this in? Wants it. So yeah, we got those movies. We got those movies because the guy running the show wanted those movies and shows.
William, my guess is that Jor-El will be Ultraman and Superman will have to fight. I don't think so. Yeah.
That's an Omni-Man. No, you know what? But I don't. Okay, Ford. I don't think so. But once again, I have to preface when I say I don't think so that there's a crazy man with white hair and who's got the mind of a comic book nerd running this, and that is an available plot. I don't think so. Not going to take anything off the table with James Gunn. I heard the rumor, but I don't think that's true.
Yeah, the rumor that
you
hear the rumor that it wasn't the Fantastic Four. I thought that scene made it pretty clear it was. So
they're saying it could be another Fantastic Four, but that doesn't make any sense to me. I've heard the rumors, but I think that's a Fantastic Four, and here we are about to go see Fantastic Four. I don't think they did that by accident.
Come on, guys. I don't think that's. This isn't Ultraman theorizing. This is Fantastic Four end credits scene of Thunderbolts theorizing. I thought it was pretty straightforward.
Are you?
Oh, he's got a couple. He's got a couple more on this. I
thought it was going to be like 9 o'clock in the morning, but.
Yeah, let me go back up. Oh God, that's pretty far back up.
I know we've been running now for a long time.
Okay, yeah, it hasn't dropped yet. There's new footage from the trailer that appeared from 2 ads on Twitter that just retweeted the trailer.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm looking at that now.
Hours.
Yeah, I'm not going to do an early morning stream of it. We will definitely cover it tonight. I mean, we'll cover it in length tonight. Let's go all the way down. I'm not going to mark your words. I mean, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. It's a possibility that all three of these movies. It's not out. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that all three of these movies can make $1 billion.
You know, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle did. I mean, with all like missed $1 billion by that much. 2017, nobody expected that at all. So it's like, yeah, of course, there's of course it's a possibility.
These movies could have the effect that I think they have. These movies could have the effect of catapulting people back and forth to these movies. Because when you come in, if you're feeling good about Jurassic World Rebirth, then you walk by about 10 Superman things on your way there and about 20 Fantastic Four things on your way back. So if you're in, dude, there's a euphoric feeling when it comes to movies. When it comes to okay, for most of you, if the movie's good, like if it's Halloween Kills, I feel like shit out of it. But if it's a great movie, if it's a great movie, like if it's Thunderbolts or if it's something like that, you walk out of the movie and you like the movie, there's a euphoric feel about you. You're in a good mood. You're open to suggestions, right? And then you're surrounded by this. So now you're in a good mood. You're at the movies. Hey, what do you think about this movie? Let's go see this movie when it comes out. So you mentally start making your plans. So when you're walking out of Jurassic World, you could be walking into a feeling of euphoria that even might have you buy your tickets for Superman right there and then. And guess what? When you come out of Superman, if that movie's good and it makes you feel good, guess what? There's a big giant boar right there in front of you.
Is that going to have a trailer for? If they said that's Jurassic World, is that going to have trailers for Superman? I would imagine it would have trailers for both of them.
Yeah, it would. Well, a lot of it it's dependent upon the theater. I think the theaters determine the.
Yeah, because they're in such close proximity, I would imagine it'll have trailers for both Superman and Fantastic Four, and those are like the three in terms of like tent poles for July. So yeah, I would imagine it's going to have, and then Superman. Do you think Superman will have one Fantastic Four?
It depends on the theater.
Okay.
Because it's not. I think the theaters determine how many trailers and all that. So they never had to be put in a situation where the audience won't turn up unless it's a A-lister. That's a sign of a problem. No, not at all. Not at all. That's just consumer. That's customer. That's supply and demand, RJ. That's not a change. Like I said, if Brad is my chef and Brad serves me steak and eggs and lobster, and every day he serves me something that's like high end. The next day I come in and I'm eating, shrimp scampi or something like that. And every day of the week I come into Brad's restaurant, he's got the top tier food. And I come in and Brad stops doing that for a little bit. And I come in the next week and Brad's got some grilled cheese. Right? Brad has fish sticks. All right. Brad has some top ramen. And I'm like, well, Brad, where's the steak and the lobster? Where's all that? Well, yeah, we're working on this other thing. And I'm going to be like, you know what, Brad, I'm not going to leave you completely. But when you start serving steak and eggs and lobster and all that again, I'm going to come back because I know you can cook that stuff. And that's what I like. That's what I came to your restaurant for that. I can't do the grilled cheese, dude. But as soon as you tell me that you good on your chef hat and you got the steak, you got the eggs, you got the lobster squealing and making all that noise, and you tell me it's time to come back for the stuff I came to you for, then I'm going to come back. It's that easy. That's how customers work. That's supply and demand. That's not a change in their clientele. That's a change in their product. The customers were reacting to being given grilled cheese when they were given steak. And the fact that everybody bought into the connected narrative, which is why these movies going forward, that's why I believe a Thor movie would do very well if it is connected to, which it will be, connected to the overall narrative. That's the fans want that dollar. They want that ticket to be more than just a movie that they're sitting to. That's why the connected universes are never going away. So when you have all this, I call it filler stuff because most of it was not connected to the main storylines. Now you're starting to see things stack up. So no, I don't think that the gravitating towards the A-listers is something wrong with the audience. I think that is just a natural response of the audience, given what they were given from 2008 to 2019. William, how do you impress upon the general audience that this is Marvel's first family when they not might be familiar with them? The Hulk is the A-lister, but audience really don't turn out for them. Well, here's the Hulk. None of the Hulk movies are failures.
Well, yeah,
They're just weren't that good.
well, yeah, but they didn't do like his most lucrative appearances have been in Avengers movies. So why is it that like the Hulk movies like couldn't like because they were failures, but neither of like cracked 300. Now, granted that was when they only won Incredible Hulk. Both came
Yeah,
out,
they didn't. They didn't.
it
need
wasn't
to.
like expected. They needed to get
Yeah.
like 500-600. But like, why is it they were? Do you think they're kind of on the lower tier as far as like Marvel solo character movies?
Because they were the early ones. They were some of the first ones. That's the answer. There was no.
But the Hulk is an A-lister. I mean, it's not nobody went into those movies not knowing who the Hulk is.
Okay, but the Hulk is the A-lister that made a lot of money. You guys are acting like the Hulk didn't make a lot of money. That movie was immensely popular, and you're asking me why it didn't make the blockbuster money that MCU movies A-listers would make later on, because you didn't start out there. Iron Man made good money, but it didn't make great money like you compare it now. Compared to when Iron Man came out, that was great money. But now we're in 2025. When I say A-lister, I'm talking about what we have established up until a certain point. At the point Hulk was released, there was no A-list at that point. They established the A-list from 2008 to 2012. That 4-year window is when you were establishing your A-listers in your big movie. And that's why if you see the box offices from the first Marvel movies all the way up to Avengers 2012, you see the escalation. And once you reach Avengers 2012, now you have established what your A-listers are and what your audience will want to see. They want to see more of that. Hulk just wasn't in that atmosphere yet. Hulk, it was too early in the game. But even still, those movies still made an incredible amount of money, pun intended.
Yeah.
So that to answer your question, Daniel, the A-list had not been established yet. 2012 is pretty much going to be where because that was your first $1 billion one. That was the biggest success that they had ever had. And that movie established all those individuals that were standing in the middle of New York City fighting fighting Thanos's forces. That established them as A-listers. Everything from that's why all your big moments are all Avengers movies. So general audience, but now post 2012, you know what a Marvel A-lister is because they've told you what the Marvel A-lister are. All right. And to answer your previous to Marvel's first family, I think that people inside of YouTube and inside our little geek bubble think that people don't know who the Fantastic Four are. They know who the Fantastic Four are. They know who the Fantastic Four are. I don't think there's going to be a problem. And here's the thing. Marvel, here's another thing to establish your A-lister. When you treat your IP like an A-lister, the audience feeds off that energy. Right now, even if you didn't know who the Fantastic Four, unless you're living in a vacuum somewhere, unless you're in the Phantom Zone, you're probably going to know who the Fantastic Four are. There are people when I was a kid that had lunch pails of Fantastic Four that couldn't even read at the time. So that you know who the Fantastic Four are. But even still, it's how the MCU treats certain characters versus others that lets you know what an A-lister is. If it's an Avenger, if it's a primary Avenger, you can bet that's going to be given A-list treatment. So you see how they're approaching Fantastic Four. You see what they're putting. They're putting it right before we get started with, and Fantastic Four is a major part of Doomsday and Secret Wars. So yeah, it's how they structured their universe. They have pretty much led you down this road, and you know what? They've established their A-listers since 13 years from now. So let's see. I could go the rest of my life without that, but that's fine. They're kind of lame in the comic books, but that's fine.
Well, because I think I said this before, like the first Ghost Rider movie, like I could see that as like a Phase 1 movie. That I think that totally fits like Phase 1, Phase 2. I could see that, and it was the year before Iron Man, so I could see that tonally and stylistically functioning, MCU wise.
All right. Azteca. Me and Brad, the three of us. We don't decide shit. I'm only telling you what we're seeing. The fact that we don't have this movie pretty much shoots this down. You and Brad and anybody else feels about these characters, it doesn't mean shit. If the guy in the hat and the title next to his name, if it doesn't fit in his story, it doesn't fit. It doesn't matter how you feel about the characters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how Brad feels about the character. We're sitting in front of our computers. We're guessing at what he may do. If it doesn't fit in his storyline, and Thunderbolts did, it's his. Yeah, and this is so silly. We're gonna tell what the most successful producer in Hollywood history.
There, right here. I just fit it.
We're gonna tell
right
a guy that is like you going into a nuclear lab and saying, you know what, I don't like the way you're doing things here. Nobody's gonna give two flat fucks. All right, we're on
Literally
the outside.
No way. This
you
doesn't
guys
work.
You, me, the chat, we're not the storytellers. That's it. I don't want to say that slow because I don't want to sting like a trillion. Those characters that you just listed as Tekka fit because the guy who writes the stories and is really good at it has decided they fit. I think he knows what he's doing more than anybody on our screen and in the chat combined. I think he's got his hand on the pulse of things, and I think he's going to be okay.
I need Kevin Feige's email. I got to email this article directly to him.
Yeah, I think that shit's going in the spam.
Or to Mahershala Ali, then he can show it to Kevin Feige.
Shit's going in the spam.
Brad, did you see the Chris McCarpenter has a podcast now? It's called The Bitch. No, I didn't see that. I did not see that. But I mean, all power to it. I'd I bet she's got stories to share about someone. I really, again, and that's the other thing. It's like, God, Zach, if you do this, like this, one of my big like Restore the Cyberverse fantasies. Make it happen. Cast her as Grail. Cast Chris Carpenter as Grail.
I think that series is bullshit. I think he said that tongue in cheek. It makes no sense.
Theory is because Feige said it might not be the same. Oh, you're talking about the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I don't think it could be.
I didn't see this at all. It's like this is news to me.
It was. He said it in passing, and I never bothered.
Oh, so this derives from a comment Kevin Feige made.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to explain what fucking sense that would make going into Fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't see this, so it's all new to me.
It'll make at least $450. Am I gonna have to? I thought we banned. Why we banned Blade? We banned Blade for the same reason, because it always leads to nonsense. Every time we bring up Blade, it leads to nonsense.
I just
it always leads. It leads to people who, and I put myself in this realm. We don't know shit.
Way this doesn't.
It's lame.
Work.
I would laugh, dude. I could hear the laughter. I could hear them. You may be able to float out of the office just on the waves.
I gotta get Kevin Feige's email. I gotta send that, and Mahershala Ali. I gotta send this to them directly. Yeah, I might send it to Ryan Reynolds directly, and you might say it's like, okay, we'll do Wesley.
Clint is
Man,
on
the plane had to land. Pull that back up. The plane had to land to get fuel or something, and refuel. But off I go again.
Yeah, we know what the fuel is. We don't need to say. We don't need to get demonetized, but we know.
Blade gives Brad overstimulation. Well, again, it's like the raid with Blade, end credit scene. Fury, we need you for Secret Wars.
Dude, they don't even use Fury for the end credits anymore. You're like 10 years ago.
Work.
It doesn't. It's his name for one. And why would you have him bringing in Blade?
Because it's how he recruits people. It's the Iron Man grand scene again. Okay,
I'm glad. Listen, post your articles because I know I'm glad this is good for you. I'm glad this journalism because your plotting skills, it leaves everything to be desired.
I'm gonna send this in directly to them.
Yeah, and they're gonna do. Let me know if you get a response from that.
No, I will get that. I will get this over to Feige's office come hell or high water.
All right, guys. I think we ran out of all the nonsense. Thunderbolts failed.
Well, there's the reports that like it lost like $100 million from over because it what was the budget, like 200 and it did like 371 or something.
It did 381. The budget was 180. They didn't do an advertising campaign for like that one because, like I said, we didn't even get a screening out here. $381 million for
$381 million for Yelena Belova, for Bucky, for John Walker, for Taskmaster, for Red Guardian. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And to be honest with you, it's not up to the audience to designate something as a failure. We have no accountants in the game. We have nobody. We don't know what their goalposts were. For all I know, we have a situation where it's Kevin Feige saying, I need this movie to do enough to move our narrative going forward because these characters, especially Sentry and certain characters, are going to play a part in what's about to come next. And when that happens, they're going to go back and see this movie on platforms that we own. You're going to go see it on Disney Plus. You're going to go buy it on physical media, or you're going to buy it on PVOD. So the amount of money, the pool of money that Marvel's looking to make is more than just one movie. Successful producers and studio heads think beyond one movie. They think beyond the results of one movie. So no, I don't see that as a failure. Like I said, fans can't dictate or designate failures. Pundits can't either. None of us have any money in the game. None of us know what the overall plan is. We are on the out. Just remember, have fun with this stuff, guys, but understand where you're at versus where the actual facts and stuff are. We don't know shit.
And actually, kind of on that note, before we wrap up the stream, I think I saw a little bit of what RJ's talking about as far as like some of the trailer footage that's going to be in like the mainline trailer tomorrow. Let me go ahead and pull this up. It's like it's a couple snippets that they've put out, but it's where is it?
And once again, hold on. Once again, us sitting here on YouTube can determine what a guy who's made $31 billion for his company is. His long game. We can figure that out. That's why we're on YouTube and not working for him. That's what I mean. If I knew as much, if I could do what Kevin Feige's done, I would probably be doing this show from. Okay. This is
it's
famous around the world, Mr. Fantastic,
put it here.
Invisible Woman, Human Torch.
I love you, Johnny.
And the Thing.
The Fantastic Four. Get tickets now.
Oh, I saw that.
Okay.
That's not the trailer.
No, it's like the trailer for the trailer tomorrow.
Yeah, it's today. Now it's today, so they're probably playing that. Let's see. All right. That's it. All right. Well, we know what we're talking about tonight, so you don't even need to guess the theme tonight. We're talking the trailer because at some point it'll be out, and I will be watching it because, like I said, I'm super excited for this. I'm more excited about this movie than anything else coming out this year, to be honest with you. There's really nothing, and it's been that way for quite some time now. That this was the movie that's going to make my summer, and I'm going to be at Comic-Con seeing it, so it's going to be extra special because I'll be in the midst of that atmosphere. So see movie suck. Okay, I'm going to leave that around. So all right, guys, that's it.
Yeah. Well, yes, it was, Aaron, because I mean, sometimes even for Kevin Feige, when it comes to Blade, you just got to raise your voice.
Yeah. This please don't take Brad seriously.
There's
as far
literally
as
no way,
no way, shape, or form
doesn't work.
In no way, shape, or form does Brad have the aptitude to match Kevin Feige. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think he's a brilliant journalist.
But in what I laid out, someone show it to me because I have not seen it.
Brad lays out some generic 2011 bullshit that would even get you past security. So yeah.
The raid with Blade Fury is out there. Need you for Secret Wars. Cut to black.
Wait, is there-
100 million opening weekend.
I can't believe. Did you actually type this up? And that's what it is. 'Cause I haven't
And
read the
right, I
article.
typed this up.
You actually sat there and what the hell?
We
All
returned
right.
to destination safely tonight. Yes, we did.
Yeah. Let's get out of here before we take a turn for the worst. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Fantastic Four trailer.
Fantastic
talk.
Four.
Like, subscribe, share. If this is the kind of conversation you're into, then spread the gospel. Until then, we'll see you later on tonight. Fantastic Four.
See you guys.